set for the start of the second half at Camp Nou. Plenty of changes for Barcelona at the interval. They lead Pumas by 4-0. 3 of those scored inside the first 10 minutes of the match. Frenkie de Jong is out there for the start of the second period. Both he and Memphis Depay, the subject of much speculation over the course of the summer. They're not alone in that in these parts. No joy so far for Dani Alves. He's up against a very familiar figure in Gerard Piqué, the club captain. Also out for the second half for Barcelona at the back, taking over the armband. And it is the home team that get this second period underway and immediately get Frenkie de Jong on the ball. Did mention that most of his football in pre-season on the trip to the USA has come at centre-back as a substitute, but he appears to have slotted into the heart of midfield. A more familiar role of last year for him. All sorts of reports and rumours surrounding his future and the club's position in that. We know that Manchester United are interested. Chelsea reportedly, and Paris Saint-Germain as well. Barcelona publicly insist they want him to stay, but the insinuation is that he might have to take a pay cut to do so, to stay within the financial boundaries that they are already stretching to the limit. It's also reported that he is owed wages he has previously deferred and wants those paid if he was to leave. All that to be resolved in the coming days and weeks. His focus is on the field here. Barcelona look to launch their first attack really of the second half. Jordi Alba on at left back. One back by de Jong. So getting a look at Franck Kessie after his signing from Milan. He was so important in the team that took the Scudetto last season. He's featured in every pre-season match actually, started 3 times. It's his 3rd time off the bench as well. The majority of those matches were played in the USA, those 4 friendlies. They began pre-season with a 1-1 draw at 4th tier Spanish side Olot. Ended last season with a trip to Australia to take on the A-League All-Stars in Sydney. That's their final fixture before La Liga gets underway next weekend. It worked well here for Jordi Alba. Skips into a little bit of space. Lewandowski, one of the few from the first half that has stayed out there. Jordi Alba delivers from the byline. It's an awkward one for the goalkeeper. Lewandowski certainly not wanting to come off at half-time after the wonderful performance that he produced. Involved again. 6 changes in total by Xavi Hernandez at the break. Behind rather awkwardly with de Jong waiting. He's gone across to take the corner kick here. Yang will be a potential target. Lewandowski was lurking as well. Touch for Jordi Alba. Roberto has also remained from the first half. He's back on the ball here. His versatility could be important as the game goes on. He can effectively really play anywhere, can't he? There's Piqué. De Jong has Ansu Fati ahead of him and Lewandowski. This is Kessie, and it's turned in by Aubameyang on the line. It's taken just 4 minutes of the second half for Barcelona to score their 5th goal of the game. Patient in the build-up. Aubameyang was perfectly positioned to apply the finishing touch. Lewandowski scored within 3 minutes of the first half. Aubameyang has only been on 4 minutes, and he too has got his name on the score sheet now. One of the Subachits who provided the service in front Kessie. Is the quickest to react. Again, Lewandowski involved in the build-up. Deserves credit for that ball to Kessie in the first place. And Aubameyang, who did score twice in the first 2 games of pre-season, including the 6-0 win at Inter Miami, has his first goal since then. No respite for Pumas. Feels about the right sort of juncture to remind you of the record Martinez victory in this Joan Gamper trophy. That was an 8-0 Barcelona win against Santos of Brazil in 2013. It's a year later when they beat Leon of Mexico. Facing Mexican opposition for the first time since then. Lewandowski is in on goal here. Ansu Fati, he threaded it through to him. The initial effort is saved and the second effort is blocked. It's not to be third time lucky for Lewandowski. And such is the way that this has been going. I probably expected him to score there. I'm sure he would have expected to score there. Lovely weight of ball from Ansu Fati. Pumas appealing for the flag which never came. Salvio. It was on Carlos Gutierrez, one of the half-time substitutes for Pumas. Hasn't actually started a league game for them yet. Just too much on that for Ansu Fati. And that famous number 10 from Lionel Messi a year ago, after the departure of the club legend. He still beat Lewandowski to last year's Golden Boot, or Ballon d'Or I should say. Lewandowski finishing second, narrowly second in the voting. Looking for his second goal at Camp Nou here. He's close on a couple of occasions. Might well feel he should have had more than the early goal that he has got. Of Gutierrez at the break, one of 2 Pumas changes. Ricardo Galindo has also come on at the interval. No change of fortune for them, given how this second half has started. No change in the balance of play either. Arujo lining up alongside Piqué, with Eric Garcia having made way. It's a 15th season back for Gerard Piqué since he returned to the club from Manchester United. There goes De Jong. All sorts of options for him. Aubameyang in first time. A whisker away. And from the far post, and the 2 Barcelona players desperately trying to get there. Nearly, but not quite. Such a threat though, so much space when they come forward, so many options for the player on the ball. The ground that De Jong covered, and then had the awareness to play the pass perfectly into the path of Aubameyang. But neither Kessie nor Lewandowski could quite apply the touch this time. The manner in which Aubameyang did a couple of minutes earlier. Well, Prete can't force the way through. Araujo is under pressure, though. Already in the type of territory where it would only be a consolation goal, but Pumas will be desperate to find one to give themselves something to remember the match by. Opportunities to do that have certainly been at a premium for the visiting team so far. Famous name of Mexican football, founded in the capital city 68 years ago now. Club Universidad Nacional, to give them their full title. Referee lined up with play, able to give the free kick for the foul on De Jong. He's wasted no time in assuming his position at the centre of the action. Getting reacquainted, rather literally, with Dani Alves. Slipping it away there to Sergio Roberto Lewandowski. Didn't quite fall for him. And neatly done by Hugo Militao. Salvio initially was in plenty of space. He wasn't when the ball reached him, but his touch was impressive. Not quite replicated by Del Prete. Sergio Roberto. Aubameyang stayed fairly wide since his half-time introduction. There's Kessie once more. Was a free agent at the end of his Milan contract. Flicked by Lewandowski. Said that before today. Not quite able to profit this time. They're content to shepherd it out of play. Well, these clubs have met previously. September of 1963, when Barcelona were on tour in Mexico. They won 6-1 at Pumas. Jose Antonio Zaldúa scored a hat-trick that day in front of 69,000 fans at the Olympic Stadium. The paths haven't crossed again until today. Lewandowski slipping it through. Here is Aubameyang. He almost had too many options, really, and appeared to be caught in two minds whether to take the shot on. Now he's found Ansu Fati, and it's blocked behind. They will feel that was a spurned opportunity, will Barca. As well to win it. The substitute was in the way, importantly, Ricardo Galindo, to concede only this corner. De Jong will take. Okay, challenging for it. Rather clumsy this time. Perhaps not for the first time. There was all smiles before the game at the pre-match presentation, and indeed seeing so many of his former teammates and friends in the warm-up. And he's a competitor, Dani Alves. Maybe hurting just at the moment. And from De Jong, Araujo, he rose well to win it. Mentioned earlier how Dani Alves here has won more trophies than any other player in the global game. He might take that record from him yet. Mistaken, hasn't had too much to do. That was a little awkward for the goalkeeper. Just testing his concentration. His backup from last season has departed today, actually. Neto, not involved in pre-season, has signed for Bournemouth in the English Premier League. Deal done to allow him to end his contract early in Catalonia. As we head for the hour mark, changes from Pumas, and Dani Alves is making way. He is one of those being replaced here. Alfred Garcia on for him. Diego's going to come on as well, but a wonderful reception. And a hug from Xavi. Colleagues for so long, those two. And this will mean much. It's the chance to say farewell that he wasn't afforded earlier in the summer. Football has a funny way of working, he says, in allowing him to come back so soon. Not the manner in which he would have wanted it to happen, but he will embrace the occasion nevertheless. He's a popular player in these parts. Probably was prepared to play for €1 a month when he returned in November. Barcelona are going to respond in kind and make a sequence of changes of their own. And they're coming off, amongst others. Switching goal as well. Inaki Peña is now the backup after the aforementioned departure of Neto, and there is a debut for Barcelona for Jules Koundé. He wasn't involved because he hadn't signed in time for the trip to the US. For 3 years at Sevilla, though, he's become the latest addition to the Blaugrana. He is on as well, taking the place of Araujo at centre-back. Gentle introduction, isn't it, for him to Hypercamp now with Barca 5-0 in front. Half an hour of pre-season to play. That one previous meeting between these clubs in Mexico. It is not Pumas' first visit to Catalonia, though. They played 8 games here on tour back in the late 1980s. 2 of which were in this part of the country. Ansu Fati caught in full flight. And the free kick will follow. Although Galindo almost attempted to pull out of the challenge, really. Certainly didn't get the ball. So Memphis Depay, who's just come on, stands over it. It would appear that his future might be elsewhere. He was desperate to sign for Barca last year and did, and was their top scorer. He's the one that delivers the free kick. It was met by Piqué, and Kessie on the post just couldn't quite reach it. Piqué rolling back the ears, always such a threat in those sort of set-piece situations. Got underneath it, Kessie there, without making contact. Scored 6 goals in Serie A for Milan last season. Run by Nico Gonzalez. Kessie, with Memphis on the move, having replaced Lewandowski. Ansu Fati. Nobody now on the field for Barcelona that began the game, but their dominance remains. Their hunger for more goals continues. He got last season in La Liga, Memphis Depay. Scored on a couple of occasions in pre-season already, despite not actually starting any of the friendly matches. Here's again. Fati trying to react. Nobody could quite do so quickly enough. You'll notice Memphis wearing the number 25 now, having seen the number 9 shirt that he wore with distinction last year go to Lewandowski. Actually hit his own player there. Good Ansu Fati. Came off Koundé. Once again, Chelsea were very keen to sign him from Sevilla. They held a long-standing interest, but weren't able to get the deal done. Barcelona did so. Promising player at the age of 23 with 11 caps for France. His form with Sevilla forced his way into the national team despite significant competition for places at international level. As part of the French squad at the European Championships last summer. He's going to reach it. It's the head of Geronimo Rodriguez, another of the Pumas substitutes. Memphis goes in field. This is Jordi Alba. Koundé. Fatty, neatly done. Didn't quite collect the intended return from Memphis. Impressed in this fixture last season, the win against Juventus, and it was he who was introducing himself to the Barcelona supporters. There weren't as many there that day, of course, at Estadio Johan Cruyff. To see a full stadium at this famous stadium for this one, for the first time since Arsenal's visit in 2019. The Pumas changes are imminent, but first Ansu Fati has it for Barca, and he has support from De Jong. Memphis Depay shimmies into space, just overstretched himself. Del Prete. Igor Militao. So the original starters for Pumas still out on the pitch. They are going to get the free kick here. And they will take this opportunity to make those further changes. So one of those coming off, and we're going to see Del Prete replaced as well. Cesar Huerta will be on instead. Efrain Valerde is into the action as well, 36-year-old left back. Has come on as a substitute in 3 of their first 6 league games in the Apertura. Previously capped 9 times by his country. He was a regular in the Clausura earlier in the year. He's on for the closing quarter of this contest. And the second half now at its midway point. And all of these substitutions, as was inevitable really, just disrupting the rhythm of the game a little bit. And in fairness to Barcelona, they haven't skipped too many beats in terms of the attacking nature of their display. Challenge was well ridden by Nico. Kessie. Just underlines, doesn't it, the competition for places in midfield. They brought Miralem Pjanic back from a loan spell in Turkey as well, and he's impressed pre-season. He's expected to leave. It's a fairly uneventful loan stint with Besiktas last year. He was played off the bench in 3 of the friendlies. Juventus were reportedly interested and may still be in taking him back. There's Koundé. Serginho Dest, USA international. His future has been up for debate. Easier to mention those whose future hasn't been up for debate. Barcelona are concerned this summer. quite reach it. Given the atmosphere inside Camp Nou, given the scoreline with a week to go to the start of the new season, on the field at least all would appear well. One of the most famous football clubs in the world. It's why Pumas was so desperate to accept the invitation to play in this fixture. The stadium continues to sell out. That's why they've been able to raise so many funds from selling off so many different aspects of the business, because there is always almost unprecedented interest in FC Barcelona. The goal was stopped, but the referee felt unfairly. Pulled it back a few paces and given the free kick. For the challenge from behind by Quetta. It's a new signing for Pumas from their domestic rivals, Chivas Guadalajara, former Mexican under-17 international. Fatty infield, linking with Jordi Alba. What to do is to keep hold of it here against Gutierrez. Easy to forget, really. Ansu Fati is still a teenager. Early introduction to the Barcelona first team setup. Injuries haven't helped in the last couple of seasons. He's falling for it there. Kessie was trying to thread it through to him. Starting his fourth season as a professional already is Ansu Fati, having come through the youth ranks. It's most of the 2021 season through injury. Will it break here for Memphis Depay? It does. He's forced wide and now he needs support, and he attempts to improvise. And by that point, the chance had effectively gone. A lot of interest, we understand, from Premier League clubs. Taking the former Manchester United man back to England. His preference would be to stay here. Finances might dictate otherwise. He will take the corner. Jordi Alba in the space to set himself. Aubameyang looking to return it. Piqué with the audacious flick. Kept out by the keeper on the line. To deny Gerard Piqué his moment. Diogo was the isolated target for Pumas. The Brazilian striker who is on loan from Plaza Colonia. As he was earlier in the year, scored 6 times in the Clausura. 1 goal so far in the current campaign. As we look again at the instinctive, audacious effort from Piqué. The wide grin soon followed. Hasn't started in pre-season, Piqué, but it's the 4th time off the bench. Once more, reaching 400 league appearances for the club, an 8-time Liga winner with the 7 Copa del Reys and 3 Champions Leagues as well. Carlos Gutierrez allowed to come away with the ball. All relative, of course, but one positive for Pumas, the fact that, given the manner in which the second half has started, a further goal glut hasn't followed as it did in the first period. Mexican waves. The Mexican opposition finding this something of a chastening experience, having to do an awful lot of work without the ball. It is now presented to them and to Higo Meritao. Diogo, his compatriot, helping it on. Shot when it comes is deflected and took most of the sting out of it. Marco Garcia who hit it. He spoke before the game about Xavi being his idol and how it would be a dream for him just to meet him, let alone take on his team today. Four of the 5 goals coming in the first half of the first half. Young here is the only one that has since added to the tally. Kessie's in space as they attempt to tack on another one here. It is Aubameyang and it bumps against the bar. De Jong and again and wide. And somehow it stayed out. Well, they can afford to smile at 5-0 in front in a friendly fixture, knowing that the Joan Gamper trophy will be theirs for the 10th year in succession, which was their longest ever sequence in this fixture. You know, by Kessie in the build-up, wasn't it, to tee up Aubameyang, who was so unlucky this time. Slight touch maybe off the defender Galindo. First to credit Kessie for the approach play. Incredibly consistent and clinical in front of goal. More important challenges to come in the next few weeks, but take nothing away from the importance that Barcelona do place on this fixture because of what it means historically to the club. Less than 10 on the bounce between 1995 and 2004. Now, have Pumas got a goal in them? Offside given here for that particular foray forward. And close to suffering a similar fate to Leon in that aforementioned 2014 meeting, which finished 6-0. Last time Barca faced Mexican opposition. I should mention that Rafael Marquez played in that game for Club Leon. With distinction with Barcelona, who is currently coach of Barca B. Higo Meritao. Do have fond memories, Pumas, of a similar fixture when they took on Real Madrid in the Santiago Bernabeu trophy, effectively really Real Madrid's equivalent of this game. It was back in 2004, and Pumas won it. A goal to nil, scored by Israel Castro, Zinedine Zidane, Luis Figo, David Beckham, Michael Owen. They all played in that game. All Real Madrid that day. Still revel in that victory, but dreams of adding another similar chapter today were soon dashed really by the way the game began. Carlos Gutierrez unable to fashion his way through. Kessie making himself available. Aubameyang had an impact after his arrival in January from Arsenal. Potentially linked with a Premier League return already. Scored 2 of the goals in that famous 4-0 victory at Real Madrid in March, though, to immediately curry favour with the Barcelona supporters. Did score 11 times in La Liga. 13 starts since that mid-season switch. His clearance up in the air, but actually back towards his own goal, inviting a little bit of pressure here, and they're forced into the concession of the corner. That's the 3 goals conceded in pre-season so far. 2 of those to Moise Kean of Juventus. It was delivered by Marco Garcia. The danger hasn't entirely been dealt with yet. Ansu Fati was waiting for it, just beaten to it by Diogo. And it's a sensational setting, isn't it? The great arenas of world football. It's been a week out from the start of a new Liga season. It'll be one of the most important seasons in Barcelona's history, given the calculated gamble they would have appeared to have taken in the transfer market. Many fans concerned that they've mortgaged the future. Try and compete in the here and now. The product on the pitch today has certainly still been every bit as impressive as you've come to associate with the Catalan club. Around with confidence and conviction here. They're now 70% of the ball according to the official stats. Edge really taken off the game by a 3-goal flurry in the first 10 minutes. So it has afforded them the platform to play as they have. All that they've earned, though. Some fabulous football in the early stages. Ansu Fati looking for a sight of goal. He's still going. Does have support here. Des tries to deliver. It's dealt with by Arturo Ortiz for the corner. Centre-back who won his first cap for Mexico actually earlier this year. Debut at the age of 29 in April. And he's stepping here with Pumas. But he may be one of the few to go the distance, having begun the game. Memphis Depay will deliver from the corner kick. It's going to come for Aubameyang, and somehow it's cleared the crossbar. The goalkeeper came out at him, forced him to snatch at it somewhat. And he's still maybe trying to work out how this didn't go in. Right in front of goal. It's just the presence, wasn't it, of Julio Gonzalez that made it that much more difficult, because otherwise he was completely unattended. So quickly onto the score sheet after his half-time introduction, but on another day Aubameyang may well have had a hat-trick by now. Did score one, of course, with his first goals for the club in just his 4th match in the 4-1 victory at Valencia in February, which really announced his arrival at the club. So many stars on show, and another chance here, another goal for Barcelona. Frankie de Jong strokes in number 6. He's been pulling the strings for much of the second half. A player whose future has dominated the headlines and remains uncertain. But what was certain was the nature in which he took the goal. He's made it pretty clear he would like to stay here. The supporters would love to see him stay, I'm sure. That situation is still to be resolved. The outcome of this game was resolved long ago, but the margin of victory increased further. And on the reflection of the contest as an entirety, you have to say it doesn't flatter the home team. They have more than merited this margin. In fact, it may well have been much more before now. Did well to win it, and then did the rest. decisive from De Jong, who was a scorer of 3 goals in La Liga last season, his first of pre-season, albeit 4 of his 5 appearances have come off the bench. "6-0, just as it was 8 years ago when Mexican opposition were latched here in Club Leon. It is actually the 32nd game in history that Barcelona have played against Mexican opposition, but only the 3rd at home. As well as the Leon game, there was a friendly against Puebla back in 1981, and until today, that is it. There is a bit of space here for Cesar Huerta. And Pumas have the final say in the scoring. Maybe they've worked it well in creating the sight of goal off the bar and off the line from Kessie. It was Geronimo Rodriguez who must have thought he'd scored there. Lucky Peña appeared to have been beaten, but he did get a glove on it. It's a save that he maybe didn't necessarily know an awful lot about, but he will take the credit for it in preserving the clean sheet into the final 5 of the 90. And some margin, as close as Pumas have come to this consolation goal that they've been striving for. In all honesty, haven't particularly looked like getting until that moment. Now they've left themselves wide open at the other end. Ansu Fati with time to assess his options. A little too easily shrugged off the ball. Reason for the free kick. Pumas will take long. Referee is content to let Kessie continue once he gets back to his feet. It's De Jong again. I certainly see why so many of Europe's big clubs are attempting to take advantage of his situation, of Barcelona's situation. If they can find a way of keeping him, they would love to do that. And he's underlined just why again with his second half display here. Junior Des, like De Jong, another former Ajax player. USA international, is taking on Geronimo. Nico to Ansu Fati. They started so strongly. Can Barca finish with a flourish as well? Jordi Alba. De Jong. This is Aubameyang. Still with pretty much everybody back behind the ball trying to get the blocks in. It's been damage limitation almost since the start for them. Significant spell in this second half where they kept Barcelona at bay. But Aubameyang here was in behind for a moment. We'll have to settle for the corner kick. So many threats though in this Barcelona side. If they can get everybody registered, they will be a threat again in attempting to win back the title. Final changes saved by Pumas for the final few minutes, including in goal. Julio Gonzalez is replaced by the recent arrival Gil Alcala. He's just signed from Tijuana for this season. Nicolas Freire, the centre-back, also making way, so we're going to see Jose Caicedo, the Colombian under-20 international, come on. Nico Meritao withdrawn from midfield. He longed for them to have any sort of involvement in the game, which is into the last minute of the 90 here as Barca take the corner short. De Jong in towards Piqué. Goalkeeper's first touch was to spill it, but he is able to gather up the loose ball. Is Alcala. A fairly torrid evening for Gonzalez in goal for the majority. We go into added time. Last year was the first year that the Joan Gamper Trophy was actually played by the women's team as well. The intention was for that to happen today. Roma were going to play both fixtures, but when they pulled out, the matches had been split, and the women will play Montpellier later this month, August the 23rd. Stade Jordi Cruyff. Also won both against Juventus last season. By 3 goals to 0 that day. They scored in stoppage time. The third, Ricky Puig, got it. He's just gone to LA Galaxy actually in MLS. Another player to depart. But those that have arrived have announced their intentions for the new season in style. With a super showing here. 6-0 it's finished against Pumas. 20 putting their hands up and giving Xavi a lot to think about before his opening Liga selection 6 days from now. Frenkie de Jong it was who had the final say in the scoring, having come on at half-time. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang with a goal after his introduction at the break as well, his coming much earlier in the second period. 2 goals from Pedri in the first half. Lewandowski had opened the scoring in style. Dembele on target as well. And Barcelona win it by 6 goals to 0.